Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weekly meltdowns, weekly train wreck here to recap Survivor 44. Allison is feeling a little under the weather, so we were like, "Girl, we got you."
We're
We're
going to
gonna
channel
hold.
your energy and start the live and then have our faces show before the title.
Yes, exactly. But to join in on the shenanigans tonight, we figured we would have our wonderful moderator, Matt Henning. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing all right.
Just all right.
Enjoyed a good episode. Just doing all right. I'm not as high energy yet. Give me a few minutes and maybe I'll pick up.
I see. Well, yeah, so we're here to talk all things. We'll briefly talk about episode 10 as well, just because I have a few words to say about Franny's departure and everything. But before we get into all of that in this episode, of course, I wanted to just stop down real quick to ask Beth how you're watching Survivor China for the first time.
Yeah. I am.
And we were texting, was it last night or the night before? But I was saying Survivor China is one of my favorite seasons of Survivor because I really love how much that season just leans into the culture of China and really applies the China theme throughout. And I feel like that's so lost on modern Survivor, right? So I what are your thoughts while watching this season in terms of all of that compared to modern Survivor?
So I do think that when we had Survivor based on locations for around the first 20 to 25 seasons, there were those cultural aspects. It was kind of like how to get Americans to learn about other places, but put other Americans there and they're not really there, but they are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always thought that was such a cool, little thing that, I would learn something or see something I wouldn't normally see with my family on a Wednesday night, So I always liked that and appreciated that about Survivor. And also seeing people react in a genuine way within their archetype for reality TV, but also just genuinely as themselves. You have a Christian woman in the very first episode who doesn't stay throughout the meditation in the temple as a welcome because she's bowing down to what she thinks is another idol or god. And that goes, but my favorite part about that, Leslie literally goes, "I'm not religious, but I do have a relationship with Jesus Christ." And I was like, and then she's like, the entire time she's like, "I have to stick up for my faith and religion." I'm like, "You said you weren't religious." Like, the first thing made me so funny, or made me laugh so hard, but it didn't make me funny. I didn't do anything.
Beth, you were funny.
Thanks. But the other thing that I think you take all the cultural aspects and, rewards every single week and it compounds and everyone gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I miss that. I do. I miss that a lot. I miss the cultural aspects. I miss watching people engage with culture in just completely, truly themselves kind of ways. And we can all see how do we all view that and have a conversation? What I also miss are pointed questions in tribal council. That's my biggest thing. So right now it's analogyville, tonight it was one analogy to the next, to the next, to the next, until Carolyn got upset. And then it turned into a normal tribal.
I have so many thoughts about
I mean?
the guiding of the traffic in tribal council tonight. It made me so frustrated. So let's get into that because I have a lot of thoughts. So I just tweeted how it's really frustrating me how even Jeff Probst himself is minimalizing Carolyn into such a caricature version of herself to the point where nobody takes her seriously. And I feel like everybody is just it's going over her head that she is an intuitive person. She's a really smart, astute player, right? And nobody takes her seriously to the point where even Jeff is hammering that narrative in, which is really frustrating.
It's very frustrating, but there's also a part of me that's that might help, honestly. That might help her case. It does sound like next week they're going to have the conversation about is she really a threat and all those different kinds of things where it's time to say goodbye to her and that kind of thing. But it's they're not going to give that to us in the trailer and that's exactly what happens in the episode. Then why would we watch next week? So I really think she either backs
especially for Final Six.
Right. Yeah. I really think that by Jeff treating her that way, it's validating what everybody else sees. even though he's privy to information that they aren't. And so I think if anything, he's pandering how she's coming across, and it's actually helping her.
Yeah, so that's my other like conspiracy theory here is that like I feel like production wanted this idol play to happen so badly tonight that like they have Jeff being like, Carolyn, you're not sleeping, like you're not playing this game seriously, like you could never play an idol, right? Like that's not going to happen. And then what does he do after that? He basically says to Carson like, all right, Carson, if you are the person to go tonight, now is your time to self-produce your narrative on your way out, right? And like, of course, like that's exactly what he did. But like two very like subtle, like subconscious little like signals that are like disarming everybody from like thinking about like the possibility of Carolyn having an idol, right? Like totally. I would love to see if there was like even a conversation had between these people about Carolyn possibly having anything, or even Jam Jam. He certainly could have had an idol too.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
I guess I saw that travel completely differently than either of you.
Oh, okay.
So I'm having a very weird. I don't view it as like Jeff being like condescending or pandering. This is the perception that she is given to the people around her. Mm-hmm. So without giving things away, because he knows more than they do, he has to kind of play into the perception and play into the moment. And obviously that tribal was more than what we saw. So I think, it was probably edited in a way that makes it look that way. I also think Carolyn has begun to remind me of Hannah from Millennials versus Gen X, and I see the edit going very similar, especially after tonight. Because
I feel like tonight both, broke it for me.
Really good players, but they were both viewed as very neurotic players.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But I also appreciate Carolyn speaking her mind, because we don't get that enough.
That's what I loved about tonight, is that I think what people are we see her breaking down and crying after the last tribal. We see her doing this, and it's not a secret to anybody that she has these hidden emotions. I think the reason why she's going to have this target on her back before the challenge, because it's always the target right before the challenge, and then something changes, right? So I feel like she's going to be the target before the immunity challenge. Whether she wins it or not, I don't know. It's going to change, and that's what's going to happen because it's Survivor. But I honestly think the only reason they're going to think of her as a threat is, we never saw it coming that she had the Tika immunity. Because that's all it really is. I don't think it's that hard to then say, she was really reading people and knew inherently. And it's now Heidi's on her own. So Heidi's going to not want to go to the two other women. She's going to go with the three of them and be on the bottom of a four instead of, So I just think that there's a lot of factors here that like she's golden, and it's going to be really good for her, because the thing that people were shocked the most by was, there's something she can hide from us. We're used to her being, she's angry right now. She's doing this emotion. She's wearing everything on her face. She's exhaling. She's doing these things. And if you can't hide your emotions, people assume you can't hide anything else.
Yeah. And I like, what's driving me nuts about all of this is just like fucking finally we had like Lauren and Danny like recognizing that, like, oh wait, Tika is like actually a thing like here in this merge, and like we're getting to the point where like they will have the majority soon. And I'm like, I don't understand why you couldn't think about this like 2 votes sooner, right? Like think about like, especially from Danny's perspective, right? Like 3 tribals ago, Danny played his idol for Franny, and then subsequently voted Franny out. And now his back is up against the wall, and
he doesn't have an idea.
Girls have no idea how to like just get everybody together and finally vote out one of the Tika members. It's like I listened to Shannon had George from Survivor Australia on to like talk about the latest episode of Survivor US last week, and he was like, "I'm sorry, Shannon, but Lauren and Jamie are just piss poor players, and
they are." And I feel so bad.
Like that's what it is. Like I have no idea how you can like like especially Danny. Like I'm frustrated the most with him, like because I feel like I've been giving his praises all season long, like lightly comparing him to Tony, and this just cements the fact that I think that Tony is a bad player because I feel like Danny is Tony without the Sarah or Trish. He's so chaotic. He's very like concerned about any flack coming his way. We saw like the entire episode tonight. He's like, "Who's the person that voted for me?" And that was like the entire like he was so focused on that he can't zoom out on the bigger picture and see the Tika problem until Lauren, of all people, comes up to him and says, like, hey, like, we got to do something about this. But at this point, like, it's way, way, way too late.
And let's not forget that Franny was the one who made a mention of it, like, not 2 tribals ago. And then she was the one who subsequently voted out. So
I just don't understand how, like, these players are really just like handing this end game to the Tika tribe at this point.
Well, here's my 2 cents on it. I think they didn't look at Tika as a threat because I think they had written Carolyn off as a strategic threat. So they viewed it as a Carson Jam strategic duo, and Carolyn's just there because obviously she was out of the vote last week. She was out of the vote the week before, and she has been pissy about it. So I think people didn't take the Tika 3 as a strategic unit because they only saw them as a duo. And they're like, well, we have numbers to get rid of this duo whenever we want. And they thought they had the numbers to get rid of this duo tonight. Except for they aren't a duo. They are the most dysfunctional trio of people I've ever seen that are actually working together. The most dysfunctional trio heading into a final was Sandra, Parvati, and Russell back in Heroes vs. Villains.
That is true.
But these 3, they can successfully make the final, which I can now honestly say I can see 2 of the 3 at least making. I think we might lose 1 to fire making. That.
Do you have any theories on
what would make you say that, Matthew? Is it that every episode they have Carson having fire in his glasses?
It's not the Beth edit of she sees Carson with fire all the time and assumes he's losing. The way the season has been edited doesn't scream to me that they all make it to the end together. It doesn't scream hunky dory, push to the end. And so I could see Carolyn losing fire making to someone. And like Carson is a red herring, finalist.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
If not Carson, who do you think? If you think that Carolyn and Jam make it, and Carson loses fire making, I think at least the Carson losing fire making is a big one. It's probably going to happen. The editors have basically told us this. Anyway, who do you think is in the final 3? Like who?
I'm assuming it's going to be Heidi.
I think so
because
too.
she has her idol that she'll probably have to use either at 6 or at 5. Well, she has to use it at 5, unless she just wants to keep it as a souvenir.
Which I think she'd be dumb to do that.
Yeah, I think she'd be dumb to do that, and I think she's probably content to being at the bottom of a 4, because I think it could be like Heidi versus whichever Tika doesn't get dragged to the end, and try to use that as her. I played from the bottom and now I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean,
except for I don't think that narrative is going to work for her.
No.
In this instance.
Now that Danny's out of the game as well, like I think there's like a non-zero chance that Heidi could win a few of these immunities down the home stretch. Like part of her little like character development package tonight was her doing like all those like CrossFit moves and stuff. So like they're reminding us that she's a fit gal, like she's not like the typical like mom archetype that we see in Survivor.
Right.
And like we've certainly seen that she's a way more capable player strategically as well than like your average like but mom that plays Survivor.
No, this is why I'm so happy. I don't know if y'all remember, but when we drafted her, these are the exact vibes I got from her. I was like, she's going to be very confident all the way around. And I wondered, I thought she'd be a bigger personality on the entirety of the season, and she really hasn't been. But I think she easily could be. Every time she's on screen, she's got something really great to say. It's clearly that she's thinking well about the game. And then on top of that, she's got a fun personality. So I was just like, I wish that we could see a little bit more of her.
I think her biggest problem was Danny exists. and Danny and Franny to a smaller Franny and Matt to the other extent kind of washed out any chance for another person from that group being the narrator in a stronger way.
Yeah, and Jamie came over to the tribe, and so it's just like, yeah.
I mean, Jamie and Lauren are like certainly the next two to go.
I'm so happy in my draft, one of the drafts that Randy runs. I'm so happy I chose Lauren tonight. I was like, well, am I either going out now or now I'm in the best position for the rest of the drafts? But I was just like, ah. I've been holding her for so long, being like, she's clearly going tonight. I'm not going to use her. She's clearly going tonight. I'm not going to use her. She could go tonight. I guess I'll throw her. I did.
I could also see Lauren as a fourth placer. Like her edit is if Heidi has to burn her idol at 6, I can see Lauren slipping to 4.
So losing fire making
by dumb luck. Losing fire making, or even sitting at the final as like the Troyzan of the final, because it's really going to come down to the 2 Tika people. If 2 Tika people make the finale, because they all have very different stories, even though they were all kind of linked together, which I think will be interesting.
But if so, say Heidi's there at the end with 2 Tika people, Matt. Do you feel that like the 2 Tika members will kind of be like splitting votes, and then Heidi will maybe like win that way? Like, I just
there's not going to be. I can't see a
seeing Heidi as like I want Heidi to like at least get some votes if she gets there against like some Tika members.
If 2 Tika people make the finale, the third person is not getting votes. Because they're going to split the vote. If they split the votes, they're splitting like Dom and Wendell did in Ghost Island, where people are picking between the 2 of them, and the third person is just kind of
that's a good comparison, actually.
To be pretty.
So who of the Tika?
Because if it's Carolyn versus Jam Jam, they both have very strong narratives and cases to why they should win this game that are uniquely different and could appeal to different people.
So do you think that maybe Heidi cast the winning vote then, if she's the
I could easily see Heidi being put in a position where she has to cast a winning vote.
Just be Laurel?
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very possible, because I think this is like if it's Jam Jam versus Carolyn. Now, if it's Jam Jam versus Carson or Carson versus Carolyn, I think Carson is the weakest of the Tika people going into the finale. Like, I don't see him being able to make as strong a case as Carolyn or Jam Jam will. So if he's sitting in one of those 2 spots against the other, I think it elevates that Tika's person stock. But if it's Jam Jam versus Carolyn, I think we're going to have maybe like a 4-4 split where whoever's left over will have to cast that vote for a winner.
See, I don't know. I kind of think the opposite. Like, just based on like how people have been perceiving Carolyn so far this season, like I struggle to see jury voters taking her seriously at the end when she's trying to give her pitch. And
I think they take her very seriously now.
After the idol
what we just saw tonight tells after this idol play.
I hope so.
And her like actually stepping out and saying, I'm really sick of this. I'm sick of you probes. I'm sick of you people making analogies that are offensive to me. Like, her taking a stand tonight, I think, because you saw how the jury reacted to her pushback and then her idol play, even though it's technically not a successful idol play because Carson didn't get the most votes. I think it woke everyone up to what Carolyn's been doing, because nobody knew she had it.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Let's see what else. Of course, we saw Jam Jam win the immunity tonight. Congrats for him. He's lost a lot of weight. Like that. Like when they showed that shot of him like getting the immunity necklace, I'm like, damn. I know we're only doing like a 2-week Survivor season at this point, but like he's really like slimmed down in these in like within the past couple episodes. He was good.
Definitely.
Can I say?
Go for it.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say I hate this challenge. I hate it with the fire and passion.
I love this challenge.
I think it's such a trash challenge. And I didn't like how Heidi was able to put her legs through the grate and over the like wooden frame to like hold herself up. That made me like that felt very un-Survivor immunity challenges where you can't like hold the frame of the.
But she's not the first person to do that. They do that all the time in that challenge.
I guess this is the first time I've distinctly noticed someone's like legs through the bars over the wood.
That you go back and watch last season. They had them like up like this.
And I think I tuned out last season because it's like I just didn't like this challenge ever, and so seeing it back, it's like
the reason why I
don't
like
like
it
Survivor's fear factor. I don't want Survivor fear factor. I want Survivor.
I like this a lot though because I think like. This is well. You have to know that just off camera, they've got people in scuba outfits ready to.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't think all that kind of stuff, right? Here's the thing about it, though: it's actually advantageous to people who have body fat because you don't have to hold yourself up as much as people who are like Heidi and all them. The reason why they go out so early is because they are holding themselves up until the tide comes up, and now their arms are sore, and then they're getting like it's way worse versus if you have body fat, you don't have to worry about keeping your muscle mass up and try to breathe as much. So it's actually, I think, a really great challenge in terms of the kind of things that normally if you had a lot of muscle you'd be like really good at it, or if you had a lean body you'd be good at it. This is one that actually is advantageous to people who have low body fat.
What's the name of this challenge called?
Last Gasp.
Yeah, that's.
I'm looking at like who has like previously won this. Do we know who won it last season?
Owen and Carla won last season in their tie.
I feel like Malcolm won
one of the season.
Ozzy or Malcolm or somebody.
Tom Westman is the first one to win it, and then Jason in Micronesia, Brenda and Karamoan, and then they didn't do it until last season where Carla and Owen won.
I forgot Brenda won.
The tide got too high, right?
Yeah,
or something like
Brenda
that.
won that too.
So I think that what's great about that is that you're seeing that.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Somebody said last gas.
Yes. Yes.
This was the episode for season 43 that I was on the B&B on with Mike Bloom and Liana when they did the last gasp one, and it somehow devolved into a My Weekly Meltdown podcast where we started talking. I don't know what the fuck Mike was trying to say, but he was like, "Do you think like you could like bend over and use other holes for breathing?" And we were like, what? So then we were talking about ass breathing and what that would entail, but like the idea that you would have to like be holding your cheeks apart with like a tube, like it was like a My Weekly Meltdown moment.
I love that Matt's face right now is like this.
Yeah, that's.
It was so funny, and I was like, so if anybody ever wants to hear that, you just hit me up because it was one of my finest moments.
I don't know. I don't mind the challenge because it reminds me of like Australian Survivor for some reason, and I think like any challenges that are like simple and effective like that, I think are awesome. Like I feel like a lot of the post-merge challenges in modern Survivor are just a lot of the same type of like endurance, like standing on something small, like balancing something. Like I feel like there's a lot of the same like if you're good at this challenge, you're going to be good at like a majority of them, right? Like I feel like Beth, like you're right, like it taps into like a certain like different like skill set, and it's also endurance of the mind as well, which I think is always like a cool thing.
If you look at all those people, none of them are people that you think, oh, they didn't have good mental strength.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll openly admit that I have a bias against it because I've also nearly drowned. So just watching this challenge gives me anxiety. So I'm like, fuck this challenge, make it go away. I didn't like it before, I don't like it now.
It is good TV. Like I love like the slow-mo shots of them, like the water like coming out of their like a blowhole thing.
Somebody I was talking to tonight said every time they do that like slow motion like drops coming off, it makes me think of like what the challenge is doing with people vomiting now, and it's just why? So it's ruined water in Survivor as well. So.
Freaking challenge. Good Lord. I think that's it for the like kind of episode recap. Like, Matt, like I guess like we've kind of like danced around the subject, but like if you had to like lock in a boot order for the rest of the season, give it to us.
Lay it on us.
I'm looking at Jamie next, and then I'm thinking Jamie goes on a Heidi idol play because Heidi feels like she has to play it now. Like, I think she's just going to get I got votes again and again.
That's very possible.
And again, and I have a feeling Heidi is going to play her idol too soon. Mm-hmm. I also hope that Carolyn's idol stays in Jeff's pocket and it doesn't.
I don't think it will
resurface. I hope to God it doesn't. But Survivor,
I think that's why
Survivor never fails to disappoint me.
Well, they always put idols. They haven't had a season where they haven't put idols back out after they've been used, even in Modern Survivor, until after Final Five. So we're not a Final Five. That's definitely going into play. So I think Jam or Carolyn finds it. I think that's what's going to happen there.
If it does come back, I would hope one of the two of them find it. But I definitely think Jamie goes because Heidi is the target, and Heidi's like, fine, I have an idol too. Look at what I can do. But it's not that. It's just not as impressive as Carolyn's moment. I think Heidi is going to be looking to have her moment, and I just don't think she understands the timing.
I agree with that because I think her big move was going to be Danny, and she's not going to be the one who gets the credit for it.
No.
I'm so glad she had the last word with him.
and then I think it goes Heidi, and then it either goes Carson or Lauren at 4.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Carolyn's been holding back on us on her challenge capabilities, and I could see her coming out and being like, "This is my challenge, and this is my challenge, and this is my challenge."
I really don't. Think run. I think she can't really hide it.
You've seen Stranger.
She's been going and every challenge.
Yeah, but she kept her idol hidden this whole time. So who knows what Carolyn's capable of?
You know how they have like those like big like slip and slide things that they go down for like the last challenge or whatever. I pray to God that Carolyn is.
I can hear her go. Wait!
No, I just want like hands in the air, like legs like flailing everywhere. Her being like every time she goes down. Please. I'm manifesting that now. Please let it happen.
I'm gonna put this request in now. If that becomes a challenge that she participates in and she slides down a slide and there's not a GIF of it, I also need this. Editors, you listen to me right now. If this is not the way it is, you go back and you find the footage that does this. It needs to have.
Listening.
It needs to like zoom in slowly on her starting and then coming in as she's going down. It has to be one of those things. So you start to see like the height, and then it comes up at her. She's going, ah! And then she's like right up in her face, like, ah! It'd be so amazing.
Yes. I love all of these visuals. Please let it happen. Speaking of visuals, I'm going to update our draft here. Did you like that segue? So my team is dropping like flies here. I was looking good heading into the merge here, but I just have a little old golden retriever Tom Holland Carson left.
Tom Holland Carson.
What do you think about the draft teams here, Matt?
I mean, as much as I'd love to harsh on you, Tyler, I think you're fucked.
Yeah,
I think it's either Beth's lessons to win or lose here, unless for some freaky reason we lose all 3 Tika people back to back to back. In which case you still lose, but it's I feel like it's a Jam Carolyn.
There is no way. I'm telling you, like this season is a wrap. Like, and I blame Danny a lot for it, but I also blame Lauren and Jamie. Like, I just don't understand how they can't come together and see that the Tika team is like so strong here. Like, there's nobody left to take them out, you know?
Well, it's I think the 3 other women that aren't the Tika 3 are realizing I just need to attach myself, get into at least Final
Yeah.
Four, maybe
Yeah.
win that Final Four immunity challenge, and maybe the jury will be over them enough
Mhm.
that I can scoop the votes. Like that's their only play here.
Yeah. All right, and then here's our Big Brother Canada draft. Just updating this because this shithole of a season ends tomorrow. So just wanted to do one
It
last.
ends tomorrow?
It ends tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm gonna win tomorrow. Just kidding. I'm gonna lose.
I think I'm gonna win.
Yeah, I think you're gonna win.
Matt, have you been keeping up with BB Can at all?
Not a fucking bit.
Yeah.
I mean, like I heard how it started, and I was just like, I don't really usually get invested in BB Can unless there's like something good going. And this season didn't sound like something going, so I was like, nah, I'm Gucci.
Yeah, I just I don't know. Hopefully they bring the feeds back next season, if there even is a next season. But
there's not going to be.
I have a feeling there's not going to be a next season, or if there is a next season, it's going to be an all-star season that's going to say we don't want to be put on feeds.
Oh God! And then that'll set the precedent for like, oh, there's like all these rumors going around that like Big Brother 25 is going to be half returnees, half newbies. And if like BB Can sets the precedent of like we can do a season without live feeds, like I guarantee you when they have returnees for Big Brother US, like that, like somebody like Rachel, like in terms of like status, like Rachel would do it with the feeds. I'm not saying she's one of those people, but like I can see like the bigger names like Vanessa, for instance. Like I could see Vanessa being like, I'll only come back if there's no live feeds for the season. I don't know. Hopefully not.
But I think, well, Big Brother US, I know, has committed to this next season being feeded because they came out right after BB Can. Feeded. And, well, I mean,
we're being fed.
Give me the right. There's no good verb for what this is.
We really hated that.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and then Zelda comes out on Friday. Very excited for that.
Zelda.
Matt told us like 30 seconds before we went on the air that he has never played a Zelda game. So I don't know if we can continue this friendship. Sorry.
Still love me.
Yeah.
Oh, he still loves me.
But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for us here. Allison, I think we'll be back for, I think Yellow Jackets is impacted for the writer's strike, but I know she wants to do like a horror movie roundup soon. So whenever she's feeling better, we're going to try to schedule that. But of course, next week we'll be back for Survivor as always.
It's not the finale, is it?
No, the finale is the 24th.
Okay, because I was like, I couldn't remember if they were trying, because some seasons they've done 6-5-4 final all in like a 2-hour snap. And
I think last season they were just so ready to get that shit done.
It's like, let's get this moving.
We're good.
Henning has been telling you exactly what's going to happen the whole entire season.
God, I still can't believe that happened. All right, well,
I was at a bar and it was amazing. I was at this bar watching it in New York City.
I wish I could see that reaction at like a bar of live.
Oh, it was. You would have thought somebody just murdered someone on television live. The way people were freaking out, I was dying laughing. I was laughing so hard, and people were like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Cause it's fucking hilarious." And then out of nowhere, I turned around and Billy Garcia was there from Cook Islands. and I looked and I go, "Oh my God, you're Billy." He goes, "Yeah. What do you think of a Gabler?" And I went, "I can't believe it." He goes, "I know, it's unbelievable, right?" And then he walked away and I was like, "That's the man that said he fell in love with Candace." Oh, it was such a
good times. I miss old school Survivor.
You know what finale I wish I was like at a live bar for watching? The finale for Big Brother 19. I would have loved to have seen Josh lose or Paul lose that jury vote like live with like a shit ton of people around at a bar. That would have been like chef's kiss. That would have been so funny.
I watched that here in New York City, in downtown Brooklyn in a hotel.
Oh, yeah?
Because I was here for work. And I was freaking out. I was like, hit those again! My one and I was like dancing around. It was so much fun. And then the night that I really fucking freaked out in a hotel was when they cut the feeds for a few days and we didn't know who went home from the final 6 of BB17 for like 4 days. And so we didn't know anything. And then like comes back on and Austin gets eliminated without his shoes. He was up against Steve. And I was in this Philadelphia fucking hotel screaming bloody murder. I could not help myself and I got a noise complaint.
Well, you know that that eviction actually wasn't live. Like it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They'd filmed it before, and we had to like wait for like 4 days to see it.
Yeah, but the audience of like that particular eviction said that they were waiting like 45 minutes for Austin to leave. Like he literally would not. He like refused to leave. Like it took them like that long for him to like finally walk out after he was evicted. And that was a big reason why they like didn't film it.
Oh, that's why they had to like edit this down and hold this off.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it.
I believe it too.
Yeah. I've never heard that.
I mean, Beth could call up Steve and get confirmation for us.
Could you imagine? I'm like, hey, Steve, tell us right now.
Did Austin throw a giant hissy fit on his eviction?
I would be scared if I were Steve in that situation. I'd be like, I'm going to go up to the HOH room or something. Austin, you can walk yourself out.
Okay, time out. I love Steven Moses. Everybody knows this. But Steven, you are a damn idiot. And for 45 minutes, this man is huffing and puffing, and you go, good job, Austin. You fucking psychopath. I love you.
It was the ultimate like gold star, like you tried on his way out. It was very patronizing in the best way.
It was,
but
good job, Austin.
But we love to see it though. It's so good.
It's my favorite. If I'm ever having a bad day, I go and I watch Austin get eliminated without his shoes, and Steven go, good job, Austin.
Yes.
Or he might even say, good luck, Austin, which is even fucking funnier. Good luck for what? The jury asked? What's he going to do?
You think Austin would come back if they asked him for
no.
like a half attorney?
I don't think he could because of his wrestling contract. I don't think it would give him 3 months off.
They did the mayor of Slamtown.
Yes,
Survivor.
but he was an independent contractor at the time. He was not signed with WWE or AEW or any other major promotion. He was in between.
Let's talk this real quick, just because we're like basically on the subject. So just throw out some names real quick. Like, who are some returnees you want to see for Big Brother 25?
June, Vanessa. Yeah. Those are my top 2 because June does not get enough credit as a winner. And I would love to see her come kick a bunch of people's asses and win another crown. And Vanessa was an amazing player who would have returned for what we call faux all-stars if she had not been, at that point of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't know how we can not talk about returnees and not be thinking of Raven.
Obviously. She was the puppet master of Big Brother 19.
Not only was she the puppet master of BB19, she also was like won the Olympics. And I'm sure she's done like 50,000 other things. Like she probably has like 2 medical degrees, like 2 terminal degrees of some sort.
I would like Raven and Debbie to be in a room together.
Listen,
and just camera, just no competitions. I just want them to like have to sit and like talk with one another for a good hour just to see how that conversation goes.
Okay, why don't we name 8 women and 8 men each that we want, and we don't have to like linger too much on it. But like,
okay, I have to bring up a thing real quick.
I'll just name things if you're gonna bring stuff up. Okay. For women, I want I think June would be good, so that'd be fun. June, Heidi, I would like or Helen, not Heidi. Sorry, Helen. I would like Vanessa. Not her.
I mean, a fantasy woman I would a woman who I would love to see that I know would never do it would be Rennie. Just for the
Tiffany was who I was going to say. Not Rousseau. Oh, but could you imagine having Vanessa and Tiffany Rousseau in the same house? That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
Oh, I mean,
Calafioris.
Oh Lord. I don't know if I would want to see that world where you put those two family pairings in a house.
They would probably work together.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
I think the way Vanessa would be able to gaslight Polly Calafiore would be a fucking masterclass for like, hey, women, start doing this to men.
This is great.
But I mean, so many people from BB23 I think would be good for like the women. Like I could see Hannah and Tiffany, not Aja.
Yeah. I'm good with Aza. I think like realistically, they probably wouldn't go from anybody before like Big Brother All Stars, the first one. Like I don't see them bringing anybody back from 1 through 6. So I'm just gonna go.
That's why I think June would do it though. I think June's been talking about doing it, and she's from 4.
Listen, don't entertain me with a good time. Like I would be so here for that.
I just want her to come on and be like, "This is the definition of a floater," so you all can understand what a floater is.
And then say that to Rachel Riley, who's also in the house, and she's like,
be like, Rachel, you bastardized what I did as a player, and I'm not here for it, and I'm sending you home.
We need to give Keisha another chance.
Oh, yes. Hell yes. I totally agree. But no, so I think Jen Johnson from season 8, of course, is like a name that's floated around a lot. I would also really love to give Sharon from Big Brother 9 another chance. I think she's the most robbed house guest in all of Big Brother history because of that bullshit question at Final Four where they asked, are there any pre-existing relationships still in the house? And the correct answer was yes, because there was 2 guinea pigs that knew each other before the house started, which is like the most bullshit thing ever. And she lost that HOH because of that and then was therefore evicted. So justice for Sharon. From Big Brother 10, bring back any of the women, but honestly, I would love to see like Michelle Costa or even Libra again. Like I would love to see a Libra return. Big Brother 11, I think Ronnie would be really interesting to see back, or Russell from season 12. I'm good on season 12. Season 13, I would love to see Dominic play again. I would love to see Cassie play again. I would love to see Shelly play again, but she's like a pretty big trumper, so maybe not. Season 14, I'm good on season 14. 15, I would love to see Helen play again. Jessie is somebody that people forget about, but she was an entertaining, like chaotic middle player, almost like Santina in Big Brother Canada 11 this year. Amanda Zuckerman, of course, even though she's a terrible person too. From season 16, I'm good, except Frankie. I think, like, yes, is he obnoxious?
I think he'd be very entertaining, though.
But like yeah, absolutely. Sense. Yeah, and he is a comp beast. Like, let's not forget that too.
After watching the challenge, or know that she's on the challenge, I think Amber coming back to Big Brother would be interesting.
Oh, hell yeah. I would love to see that. And honestly, she is another like really robbed player in Big Brother history. Caleb was so like predatory over her that she really never had any chance whatsoever. From season 17, I really liked Shelly. I would love to see her play again.
Shelly, yes.
And of course, Johnny Mac. But even like Becky, I think would be somebody really fun to see play again. Yeah. From Big Brother 18, I'm good. Big Brother 19. I have not seen BBOTT, so I'm not sure on that. I know they're not like my favorite people politically, but from Big Brother 19, like you have to consider Jessica or Cody. They were I know, like they were obnoxious people, but
No,
they
I
were like certainly.
Beth gave the correct answer. No.
And
my computer literally just said no.
Ramses is also somebody I would like to see.
I would
play
love to
again
see
from
Ramses
19.
back.
I would too. After seeing him, I got to see him play Sequester, the online version, before it turned into like what it was, and he's actually smarter than I think people.
Totally, 100%. He was like the gamer, like the nerd strategist that season that was cast. So from season 20, of course, I would love to see Caitlin Herman play again. That's pretty much it. Well, maybe Angela. Okay. I'm turning around on Angela here because she was so good in the Challenge USA and so smart. Like her strategizing with Tyson was like the coolest thing ever to see. So I would love to see her play like without Tyler.
I thought you meant Rockstar at first.
Yeah, I totally meant
my
Rockstar
daughter's
too, because
birthday.
I was like, Angela. Because like, I was thinking Tyler wants good TV, and I think Rockstar would be decent enough TV that she could warrant a comeback.
Oh yeah. From 21, I think I would only like to see Christy or Tommy return. I don't really. 22 is All Stars. 23, of course, Derek X, or Christian, or Alyssa Lopez. Of course, Tiffany and Chada, of course. Kyland, I'm good. Azza, I'm good. Derek F, hell no.
See, here's the thing. I'm hope like if I were to try to cast a season with returnees, is I would really only want one person from each season.
Yeah.
Like I would not want to run into a situation where you have like 2 or 3 from, say, 23, because of how great it was. A great season, but they're a decently close group.
So if they did like the last 8 seasons, and you had to have one person from the last 8 seasons,
I would love that.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I could. I mean, there are some seasons I wish we could skip, but you just have to deal with it.
Yeah. And then from Big Brother 24 last year, I think I would like to see Michael, of course. I think that's it. I think that's it from Big Brother 24. I think everybody's story is pretty good, pretty complete.
So it would be, if we did it that way, where we had one person from the last 8 seasons, it would start with 17. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Not 22, because that's All Stars.
Well, I would start with 16 because you'd skip 22.
Why would we
All
skip
Stars
22?
Because
that's not a newbie cast.
Because that was full.
But it's just returners, so it doesn't matter if it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess if that's a way to like,
if that's a way to get Keisha in there,
and that's how we get Keisha in there.
Yeah, I can live. And then I can live with that.
I'm okay with that. God bless her. I'm still I'm Facebook friends with her because I added her on Facebook like when she was on Big Brother 10, and she is like the sweetest human. Like she fosters like dogs that are on like euthanasia lists and stuff like that. Like she is just like the sweetest gal ever. So I would love to see her back. And
justice for Keisha.
I mean, I think everyone on that season who was not part of that alliance got a raw deal because that alliance existed long really before they got into the house, and there was no way to play around.
And I'm glad that I'm glad that Danny Donato like last minute was she had to drop out of the cast and she was not a part of Big Brother 22, and her legacy of Big Brother 13 is her last game that we all remember very fondly.
We all know that was a lie.
Cool.
I never thought she was that amazing to begin with, so
she is my favorite Big Brother player. I
understand how much she is your favorite Big Brother player. I sat through the season with you, and I kept telling you she's not that amazing.
Listen, anytime she shows up on my Twitter timeline with the word "mother," I'm gonna like it.
I trust Tyler. We are Twitter friends. I am well aware of your habits. I'm fully aware. It's just she's not that great. She's not. If she was that great, she would have realized this is a boys' club that needs to be done with a long time ago.
Yeah, I cannot believe she and she was like, so her and Janelle, I swear if Rachel was in Big Brother 22, Rachel, Janelle, and Danny could have been like the Black Widow brigade of Big Brother, and it would have been like the coolest thing ever to see these like 3 like comp queen goddesses just like team up. But like without Rachel there, like Danny and Janelle just like could not. It's so frustrating. But we're on a tangent now, so let's go ahead and wrap the show. Thank you guys so much.
Though, Tyler, that's what we do.
I know. I just like I could talk about this for days. How much that season just fucking irritates the hell out of me. But all right, everybody, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you guys next week, and bye-bye.